Viewmasters, it's the podcast that we do. Viewmasters, talk about movies that we view. Viewmasters, my friend Eric and me Joe. Viewmasters, hey, let's start the show.
Hey, welcome to the Viewmasters, episode 366, Stop Motion. My name is Joe.
My name is Eric.
Hello, Eric.
Hello, Joe.
How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Good.
How are you?
I'm tired.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Did you fall asleep during this movie?
I did not, but it did take a lot out of me.
I dozed.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a cat on me. He was snuggly.
I can see that.
And, yeah, just kinda really knocked me out for at least a minute.
Okay.
Which, this is, a lot like last week's movie. Feels like if you miss a minute, just feels like you're waking up to a fever dream.
Yeah, definitely. I can totally see that. Yeah, I did not fall asleep, but I definitely didn't watch all of it. Because I was hiding behind my hands. This movie made me fucking squirm.
So you loved it.
I don't know. I don't know if it's even good. I'm not sure. You know on Parks and Recreation when Ben loses his job?
Nope.
You don't know that? Oh, I'm sure you know the screenshot of Adam Scott holding a clay puppet with the caption, "Could a depressed person make this?"
Nope.
No. You've never seen that meme?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Okay. Well, that's this movie.
Okay.
Yeah, Ben loses his job and decides he's going to get into stop-motion animation.
All right.
And he works for like 2 months. And then when he finally sits down to watch the fruit of his labors, it's about 2.5 seconds long.
Yeah, that's stop motion animation.
That would drive anyone insane.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Stop motion.
Yeah.
This is this a Shudder production, or is it just presented by Shudder?
I think just presented by Shudder.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure. I don't know how they I think they just license movies.
Like Netflix and whatever it is.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, I don't know. I think Netflix tends to, fund movies. I think they just buy the rights to them. So,
That's true, yeah.
Because I feel like this had a theatrical release.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least I vaguely remember it coming out in theaters, sometime last year. So.
Gotcha.
And I thought it looked interesting.
Yeah.
And I had wanted to watch it.
It was interesting.
Yeah, it definitely is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, so, blah, 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 blah. I am flustered. This movie has me very flustered. But it follows a young woman named Ella.
Yep.
Who is an assistant to her mother, who is a famous stop-motion animator.
Sure.
Ray Harryhausen, if you will.
Yeah.
Harriet Harryhausen, I think, is what her name was. And mother goes into a coma, and Ella deteriorates pretty quickly from there.
I mean, it's the plot in a nutshell.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. She goes cuckoo bananas.
That she does.
Oh man. Was this a good movie?
No.
Okay.
No, it wasn't.
Okay. How obvious was it supposed to be that the little girl was a figment of her imagination? Spoiler alert.
I would say by the third time that she shows up
Okay.
is sort of when I figured it out.
Okay.
Or at the very least at the party
Yeah.
when she shows up in fox makeup,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't realize, I think at that point, that she was entirely imaginary.
Okay.
I assumed that Ella was tripping her tits off.
Well, sure.
At that point, that's what she says in the movie. I'm not just saying that.
No.
But once, like, when she went back out into the woods and the little girl was just hanging out there,
Yeah.
that was when it clicked for me. And then it is also very obvious at that point from the dialogue and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe I'm a little slower.
No. I mean, there's definitely something off about the girl.
Yeah.
At least the second time she shows up.
Yeah.
The first time it seems fairly innocuous. Like she's just a curious little girl who lives in this building that Ella has moved into.
Yeah.
Uh,
Apparently abandoned building? Or like in the process of being like emptied out and renovated or something?
I guess.
Yeah, so I was surprised that there were any other people there at all.
Right.
But it makes sense that... Okay, well, I mean, the little girl's not the only other person that she sees.
No, yeah.
But she could very well also have just been hallucinating everyone.
She is an unreliable narrator.
She is. That's frustrating. I like it, but it's frustrating.
I think the problem with this movie is that it's got its head placed firmly up its own ass.
It kind of does. Yeah. And it's in love with the technique of stop-motion animation.
Sure. And it's great.
Yeah.
Like, all that stuff is fantastic.
It does look very cool.
To the point where I wished there was more of it.
Yeah. I thought that at some point it would literally just switch to stop motion. Yeah.
I was kind of hoping that too, honestly.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yep. It does not. And it's just continues to focus on these characters I just could not give a shit about. I get it. She's a tortured artist.
Yeah. Yeah. Who isn't?
Right? Well, some of us are just guys who wear suits and go to work.
That's true. That's true. Those are the only two options. Hi. Yeah, I wave as well. Hello. I mean, you've worn a suit to a table at a comic convention a time or two.
This is true. Sorry, somebody is pushing my chair.
That's all right. Jason, get out of there. What are you doing here? Go back in your cage. There's also a cat behind your monitor swatting at one of your cables.
God damn it.
I did watch him while he sat next to the keyboard. I was keeping an eye on him to make sure he didn't stop the recording.
Stop motion the recording.
Yo, whoa! Yeah, I mean, I guess the closest we come to it becoming stop motion animation is when it becomes like basically a puppet of her having its face that's made of clay devoured by the Ash Man.
Right.
But even then, it's like, yeah, it's a puppet of her, but it's a real person in a suit as the Ash Man. So it doesn't quite get to where I wanted it to get.
Yeah. It's very hallucinatory.
Absolutely.
And you know, I definitely saw it. You know, I was trying to read stuff about it before we jumped on here, just to see if I could get a clearer picture of the thing. And a couple people referred to it as you know, a vibes movie.
Very much.
And it is definitely that. And it was I don't know. I could have used a little more story. With this one, I think, because I don't think vibes are enough to carry the concept of it through.
Yeah, I feel like it hints at story every now and then.
Right.
Like with her going and getting a job, and then with them, the corporate people stealing her movie for their commercial or whatever. But then it just drops it and goes back to just being weird.
Right. like before we figure out that the little girl is, pretty much, fiction.
Yeah.
And I think even at one point I was thinking, is this just like herself as a little girl, like somehow coming back, or whatever. But when we think that she is a wholly separate character, I thought that the direction that this was going to go in was that, Ella is basically stealing her ideas to make this movie.
Yeah.
And that would somehow come into play. But it just peters out.
Yeah, the little girl takes her to court.
Yeah. Seeks bloody vengeance.
Okay, sure. That
I don't know.
Not restitution financially.
Maybe she was some sort of magical being, and she's telling the story of stuff that actually happened, and it makes the stop motion come to life, and attack Ella. I don't know.
Yeah, that could have been cool.
Sure.
Yeah. I wasn't sure. Like once I realized that the little girl was not real, I wasn't sure. Like, is she like sort of what you said? Is she a younger version of Ella, or is she like? I had the thought that maybe she was like a younger version of Ella's mom.
Yeah, that could
similar controlling natures.
Pretty pushy. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, no explanation there as to what the relationship is between the two of them.
Right.
If there is a relationship outside of Ella invented her.
Right.
Which is fine.
Yeah. But you know what? Even at the beginning, I was kind of thinking, Mom's not that terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, she's controlling, but that's because she is an artist who has lost something vital to her, and it's kind of Ella's own fault for volunteering to help her out.
Did she volunteer? So you're on the mom's side.
Kinda.
This way, okay. Interesting.
This is my team sanity.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I thought about Drop Dead Fred a lot while we were watching this movie. I'm not gonna lie. Like, is her working with the little girl, like reclaiming her childhood wonder of filmmaking and storytelling, and that was about as far as I got with it.
Yeah. The parallels are not really there.
They're tenuous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, other than, some practical effects.
Right. I mean, there is the scene where Ella gets flattened like a pancake and has to reinflate herself, which I thought was pretty cool.
Well, sure.
Yeah. Great effects on that one.
That's what this movie needed, is more Tex Avery type antics.
Yeah. So we just get fucking creepy meat puppets.
Right? This is a thought I had multiple times throughout this movie. Because I do like stop motion, and I love the look of it and the feel of it, and there's definitely a vein of creepy stop motion that is very popular.
Yeah.
And it made me think of Tool videos.
Okay.
Which at least a lot of the early ones were all very heavily stop motion animated. The guitarist for Tool, I don't know if you knew this.
I actually know nothing about Tool.
Okay. The guitar player for Tool actually worked for Stan Winston.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And had worked on Jurassic Park at the very least.
Nice.
As well as some other movies during that era before he joined Tool. And so he did all the videos for the band in the early days, at least. They were all stop motion animated, and they all kind of look like the stuff in this movie.
That's cool.
Like weird, meaty, little sinewy wax puppet things.
Yeah.
And weird, organic craziness, creepiness stuff.
Yeah.
And this movie felt like it was working backwards from a Tool video.
Okay.
You know, whereas like the videos are like taking the song and then, you know, turning it into, you know, an animated piece of art. And this is taking that animated piece of art and trying to make a story out of it.
Okay.
And trying to fit all of its ideas into some sort of frame that just never fully coheses.
Yeah, I did get music video vibes a few times, especially towards the end.
Yeah.
Like after she's fully gone and like it goes to her like in the woods or whatever.
Yeah.
Sort of very ethereally moving towards the cabin and then going in. That all felt very music video-y to me.
I mean, even the very first opening shot of this movie is, you know, sort of a flash forward of her, I believe, you know, sort of tripping at the party.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's all like very, you know, quick cuts and flashing lights. And I was like, oh, this is like watching like a really bad, like 2000s music video.
Which, I mean, the one guy said she could make videos for his music videos.
Sure,
so,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
that makes sense. It checks out. Yeah.
But again, he's not a musician. He's just a guy in a suit.
But does he make music? I think I'm on her side here.
No, yeah, she's not wrong.
Yeah. There were many points in this where I was like, I'm with you 100%.
Sure. I mean, as semi-creative people ourselves, you know, there's definitely ideologies to latch onto within Ella.
Yeah.
Just you know, we're also both realists.
Right. Yeah.
Mostly just for the need to survive.
In this economy, yes.
Yeah. And maybe that's why AI is gonna just kill us all.
Yeah.
Because we're not trying hard enough.
That maybe. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe we should all just go completely insane and lose ourselves in our projects.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Here's the way to go. This movie is squishy.
It's very squishy.
It made me queasy. Like, there were a couple of parts where I wasn't watching what was happening on the screen.
Yeah.
But just the sound of it made me feel a little sick to my stomach. And I did not care for it.
It was just clay being molded.
That's not what it was. It was a person sticking her fingers into an open wound on her leg. It was a person doing whatever the fuck she did with a tripod to the woman on the staircase. I couldn't tell you what she did because I did not watch it.
She basically jammed it into her throat.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
Yeah. It made my tummy upset. I didn't like it.
I guess, you know, definitely, you know, proves the you know, divergent points of you and me, where I do watch a lot of horror movies, or at least more than you do, and I felt nothing.
Yeah.
Like none of it shocked me. None of it like made me flinch.
Yeah.
Like there were a couple jump scares, but it was just because like like a puppet would like jump in frame.
Yeah.
And be like, ooh, that was scary. But like all the like gory stuff, I was just like, okay, this is happening.
Yeah, I feel like it. I was ready for the jump scares.
Right.
Like I went in like, you're not gonna get me with that jump scare shit. I'm ready for it, and so none of that bothered me. And for a while it felt like more of just like a psychological thing, where it's just following her descent. But then when it became more gory is where it sort of lost me. I watched X recently, the Ty West horror movie, and like I was chugging along with that movie until the old lady stabs the guy in the neck over and over and over and over and over again.
Okay.
And that was like, you don't see anything really, or at least I don't remember seeing anything because I probably looked away. But it sounds horrible. So I think what I've learned is that the sound is what gets me more than anything.
All right.
Because all I have is, if I'm not looking, maybe I need to look. I need to make myself look.
Maybe.
Because if I just have the sound, then I can imagine what it looks like, and that's even worse, probably.
Yeah, I mean, back in the olden days, people when they wouldn't show you the monster, it was your imagination that was driving it and making it worse. I don't know. I'm making bullshit up. What did you think of X?
It makes sense. What did I think of X?
Yeah,
I think I liked it.
Okay.
I think I mean it was it was more slashery than I expected.
Oh.
But I don't know. I probably just went in with the wrong expectations.
Expectations.
Yeah. But I like the premise of it. And I like the message, which is just everybody just needs to get laid every now and then.
Sure.
Or they become homicidal killing machines. So yeah, I do plan to watch Pearl, and I saw the trailer for Maxine, and I thought that looked really good. So that's sort of what made me want to go back and watch the other ones.
Sure.
So, yeah, I don't know. It was fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't love X. I don't know. I just thought it moved way too slow.
Yeah.
And Pearl, I liked even less.
Okay.
Even though multiple people told me, well, you'll like Pearl better.
Okay.
And yeah, I just didn't. But there's a scene in Pearl which, like, when it happens, you'll know when it happens. Like, I watched it and I was like, oh, this is why everybody says it's better.
Okay. Interesting.
It's not a gory or gross or anything like that. It's a character scene.
Okay.
But yeah, when it happens, I was just like, yeah, okay, now I get why people like this.
Okay.
And yet, despite that, I probably still will see Maxine.
Yeah.
Got to finish out the trilogy, I guess.
Right. It's funny. I watched. My partner is on a Marvel movie kick right now, and so we watched Spider-Man: Far From Home yesterday, which is the Mysterio one.
Okay, second one.
Yeah, the second one, and talking about unreliable narrators and not knowing what's real, like the whole sequence where he first fights Mysterio, and it's all just basically hallucinatory, like images, and he's fallen through reality, and then he gets hit by a train and whatever. Like that, I feel like I remember that being really like super crazy when I first saw it, and now I was less impressed with it, seeing it a few years later.
Right.
But I did really like how it was done in this movie, just like the way that it was, like I don't even know, like the blending of the hallucinations with reality, and sort of like you think she's tripping, but she's not actually tripping because she didn't actually take it.
Right.
And I mean, things start to go sort of crazy after she has just like a late night and doesn't really get any sleep.
Sure.
And part of me was like, how much of this is just like, oh, she fell asleep, and so shit's going crazy now because she's dreaming it.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of dream logic, I feel like, throughout the movie that I kind of enjoyed.
Yeah. I mean, and speaking of that, I'm glad that never once did it become, it was all a dream.
Right.
It was, the physical stuff that was happening to her was happening to her, but like the mental stuff was all just, her losing her shit and going insane.
Yeah. But like the part where she chokes the little girl on the couch.
Yeah.
Like, I almost expected it to be like, oh, it wasn't actually the little girl, it was her boyfriend or whatever. Yeah. Like the part where she has sex with the boyfriend while she's tripping, like, oh, she actually had sex with a mannequin. Like, this is basically what I expected. Like, I didn't trust anything that was happening on the screen, and I liked that.
So it sounded like you loved this movie.
There's good stuff in it.
There is some good stuff. No, absolutely there is. I don't know. Usually, I'm of the opinion that, I would much rather, and it even goes with this movie, I would much rather watch a movie that swings hard and misses.
Yeah.
Than one that just kind of like, lazily, hits a fly ball, and I definitely appreciate parts of this movie more than I liked this movie.
Yeah, I agree with you completely there.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe it was because I honestly didn't know what this movie was going to be about. I had no expectations going in, so, I didn't have a frame of mind to step into it. I did, sort of based on the description of the movie, like on IMDB and whatever, I really thought that this was gonna wind up being like an A24-ish, the real horror is the trauma that we all face,
right,
kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it touches on that a little bit, but
yeah,
not as obviously as some other movies have done. And I appreciated that for sure.
Yeah, like there's one point towards the end where the little girl, like things are starting to go sort of off of the little girl's script, and she says something like, "This isn't what happened."
Right.
Like it is acting out a past event, and yeah, it was interesting that it sort of hints at maybe this fucking creepy animated short film is a recreation of some past trauma, but it doesn't really get into it.
Right.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Because there's really no way that it would have gotten into it without it being super exposition heavy, and it would have just weighed the whole thing down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe more than it already was.
I mean, honestly, yeah, I think if there had been explanations, I probably would have been angrier.
Yeah, right.
At this movie.
Like at the end of Psycho when the doctor just explains everything that's happened.
Yeah, not the best part of that movie,
no.
For sure. Yeah. I did. I can't remember if it's when. Yeah, I think it's when Ella first moves into the apartments after her mother has suffered the stroke, and the little girl shows up for the first time, and she's describing the movie that Mom was making.
Yeah.
And she's talking about it because it's a film about a Cyclops who trades her eye to God so that she can see the future, and then she sees herself die.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, that's where this movie's going.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little predictable.
Yeah, sometimes it's just real on the nose.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I guess ultimately I just wish there was more of the animation in it.
Yeah. The animation was very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I believe the director of this, he is primarily a stop motion animator.
Oh, nice.
This was his first feature length film, so obviously, that's and the live action stuff is not poorly made.
Yeah.
It's all in the script, honestly.
Yeah.
Where the weaknesses lie.
Yeah. Because ultimately he's just using human puppets.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what any director does.
Meat puppets.
Yeah.
I will say that it's been like a year now, but you have since turned vegetarian.
Yeah.
There's at least 2 scenes in this movie that was like, maybe I should turn.
Yeah.
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 It was like, this is gross. I don't want to see this.
Yeah, I recommend.
Yeah.
You don't like the visual of dangling meat in front of your face?
Yeah. Who presents a steak like that?
Somebody who wants to die.
I mean, I love steak. I've been having a taste for steak lately, and I just have not had the opportunity to go get one or anything like that. But the beauty in a steak is when it is cooked correctly.
Right.
Not when it's fucking raw and shoved in your face.
Or wrapped around an armature.
Or that, yeah. There's very much a meat motif throughout the movie too. So yeah, it's pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, also kind of just helps it all feel like it's just very pretentious.
Yeah. Yeah, the part where she's sitting at her mom's bedside and moving her hand like it's a puppet and taking pictures is ridiculous.
I like that part, actually.
I liked it too,
Yeah.
but I mean, it doesn't really add anything to anything.
No, it just furthers, the show. She's wackadoodle.
Yeah. Oh boy. Stop motion.
Stop motion. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't fully recommend it, but it's an interesting watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 90 minutes ish.
Yeah.
It's not for the squeamish.
No.
Of which I am one.
Yeah.
So maybe
You are a squeamish.
Maybe it's not for me. But there's neat stuff in it, for sure.
There is a lot of neat stuff.
And there's a lot of potential
Yeah.
that it just didn't quite meet for me.
Yeah. Meat.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I thought of it too after I said it.
Yeah. Like whatever this, writer, director, doer goes on to next, I'll check it out. Just there's, like you said, there's a lot of potential there. I'd like to see what they work on next to see if it improves on the stuff they did here and sort of, picks up on some of the weaknesses of it.
Yeah.
Unless, again, they're going to go full, like, hallucinatory experiments, then maybe I'm out.
Yeah. So I did see, because I looked it up on IMDb, and I did see that there's another movie called Stop Motion coming out later this year. The description of it is, after a tragic accident, a woman cares for her injured mother while coping through stop-motion filmmaking, mending strained family ties, and seeking growth amidst grief. So probably not a remake?
Got a lot of similarities.
It does have a lot of similarities.
Who does it have a director?
No,
or any names attached?
I don't see. I see some of the cast listed, but there's nobody that I recognize.
All right.
Emily Keith, it looks like, maybe the lead. Her character's name is Clover. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I guess she was on the blacklist.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. So that I thought was interesting that it was. It doesn't sound like a remake, but it sounds very similar.
Right. I mean, that could just be a Deep Impact Armageddon situation there.
Right.
I will say, so, not that anyone in the world pays attention, but, I put together little clip, promo, whatever, and graphic for each episode. And I, usually do it in advance once we pick the movie, or at least as far as the graphic goes.
Yeah.
And doing an image search for stop motion movie.
Is it Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
There was a lot.
I bet.
Yeah. Some California raisins.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Some
Heard it through the grapevine.
Oh yeah. some Wallace and Gromit. Just all sorts of other things.
That's hilarious. Oh.
But
boy.
also, like I didn't want to get too specific because I didn't want to, spoil it for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now you can maybe actually know what to look for.
Right.
Oof.
Stop motion.
Stop motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything making you happy this past week?
Oh boy. I don't have COVID,
That's good.
so that's nice. That's
Yeah.
why we recorded remotely last week.
Yeah.
You know what? The next wave of Comedy Bang Bang action figures is available to pre-order. So I did that today.
Who's in this next one?
It's Big Sue and Sprig the Whisperer.
Ooh, nice.
I know, yeah. Sprig is a get. I secretly Big Sue.
Yeah.
Not my favorite Lauren Lapkus character.
No, is that a Lauren Lapkus?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Like where's Tracy Reardon?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's Ho Ho?
Sure.
So
yeah.
maybe they'll do a wave of Ho Ho and Santa. That would be wonderful.
That would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that made me really happy
All right.
to see those long-awaited action figures.
Were you? I remember at one point you were trying to find Parks and Recs figures
Yeah.
to sort of make them into Comedy Bang Bang characters.
I got the Ben Wyatt figure so
Okay.
that I could recreate You Talking You Two to Me.
Okay. All right.
And then I also got the Jean Ralphio figure so that I could do Solo Bolos with Scott and Ben Schwartz. Those are the ones that I ended up getting.
Okay. All right. Because I think I've seen both of those like at Target recently.
Yeah.
So, and I thought of you, but I didn't know if you had gotten them yet or not.
Yeah. There's a figure of Bobby Newport who was played by Paul Rudd, but he's just in the One-Timers Club, so
Yeah.
not really.
No.
Didn't really feel worth it.
He's too much of a star.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, what about you, sir?
You know what? I this wasn't going to be my thing this week, but I think ultimately it's gonna be because I had texted you about it earlier to no response. But speaking of Ben Schwartz,
Oh yeah.
I watched the Knuckles TV show on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
The follow-up to Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Adam Pally heavy?
It is very Adam Pally heavy.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, it is. Basically, it's Wade and Knuckles go on a road trip to Reno, Nevada, so that he can go to a bowling tournament.
Knuckles? Does Knuckles get into bowling?
He does not, but he's training Wade to become a champion
Oh, okay, gotcha.
and a true warrior.
Wow. All right.
And then there's some gun bullshit, GUN.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
yeah.
right.
With Kid Cudi.
Okay.
Speaking of X and Comedy Bang Bang.
Yeah. Did not realize that was Kid Cudi when I was watching X until I looked at the cast list on IMDb.
Yep. And I believe 2 episodes have Paul Scheer and Rob Hubel in them.
Oh, nice.
Who I believe, just by looking at it, was never on set with anyone else.
Sure.
Carrie Ellis shows up in it.
Nice.
It's a fun show.
Okay. How many episodes?
6 episodes.
Okay.
The first 2 are kind of
Yeah.
but the third episode on just really strengthened up.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it was and we had talked about in Sonic 2 that the movie really gets going once Wade kind of shows up in the picture.
Yeah.
I mean, just imagine that for 6 episodes, 6 half-hour episodes.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I did forget to reply to your text. I'm sorry. But I'm glad we got to talk about it here.
There we go.
Yeah.
Because I got nothing else.
Shall I pick a movie for next week?
Shall you?
Shall I?
Yes.
I shall.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm sticking with I'm going back to the 80s.
Okay.
Another missed classic for me, but not a Brat Pack film this time.
Okay.
A sequel to this just came out, but I've never seen the original. I would like to watch Beverly Hills Cop.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that?
I just watched it like 2 days ago.
Did you seriously? God damn it.
But I'll watch it again.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I have a backup pick if you don't want to watch that again so soon.
Let's watch Beverly Hills Cop.
Okay.
Yeah. No, the Blank Check podcast is covering Martin Brest.
Okay. Of course they are.
Yeah. And so, like his first 3 movies are, Going in Style, Beverly Hills Cop, and Midnight Run.
Okay.
And, I was listening to the episodes, like, man, I really want to watch Beverly Hills Cop and Midnight Run. So Sunday, I watched both.
Nice.
And, yeah, would happily watch again.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. We can... We'll talk about it off air.
Well, sure.
I don't know. But, yeah, okay. So, if you are for sure up for that, then
Yeah, absolutely.
Beverly Hills Cop next week.
Sweet.
All right. Until then, everybody keep living your life a quarter mile at a time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to The Viewmasters. You can subscribe to the show directly at our websites view.guttertrash.net or on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Visit our website at view.guttertrash.net for information about our Twitter and Instagram. Once again, thank you for listening to The Viewmasters. We'll see you next time.